Hey there, I'm back with my weekly update to see what I've been up to the last 7 days. Let's take a look. Welcome to Fantasy for the Ages, the show where father and son talk about fantasy, science fiction, and other nerdy things that we enjoy. Today, just Jim here giving the weekly channel update, the books, media, travel, and other things that I've been up to these past 7 days. If you enjoy this, be sure to check out the rest of our content, but hit the like on this one and then subscribe so you can continue to see all the other things Zach and I keep bringing to you. Thanks for subscribing. So let's talk about the books I've been into this week. Oh man, it's been a good week for reading. First of all, I finished Toll the Hounds, book 8 of Malazan Book of the Fallen by Stephen Erickson. It took me 9 weeks to get through that thing, but it was fantastic. I'm taking a slight pause before continuing on to books 9 and 10 of Malazan, because I understand they're really one book and I'm going to have to move straight through them. So, hitting some other things, which means I was able to move on to Moon Cops on the Moon by C.T. Phipps. That was so fun. Sci-fi adventure, could be the start of a series, but set in the same universe. C.T. Phipps has written a number of other sci-fi, fun, comedic adventures. I really enjoyed it. Blew right through that, so then I got to do something a little fun, just some guilty pleasure. I went to Zombies versus the Living Dead, a prequel book to Frank Tale's Surviving the Evacuation series. That's got 19 books, solid zombie apocalypse. The prequel was short, flew right through it in a day. It was fantastic, and I look forward to getting to the rest of that series. But that was just a little teaser, palate cleanser, guilty pleasure, and then I moved into what I'm reading now, Demon's Tear. This is the start of a new series by R.E. Sanders. I already read The Path of Blades that Sanders had put out previously. I believe that's the same world this is set in. I'm just a little ways into the book, but it's a very comfortable fantasy, epic fantasy feel again, and I'm going to enjoy this book, I'm quite sure. Those are all my Kindle reads. Physical read, I'm still working on Down Below Beyond by T.A. Bruno. Again, Mr. Bruno. I'm sorry this takes a little longer, but when I'm traveling a lot and that's still sitting at home, I don't get through it so much. But I'll be working on it. It's coming. And in Audible, I finished Heroes Die, book 1 of The Acts of Cain by Matthew Stover. Incredible book. Content coming out very shortly. Wait, what am I talking about? That already dropped this morning, so you may have already listened to it or watched it. What a book! Which spurred me to go right into book 2, so I'm currently listening to The Blade of Tyshal. It's even longer than the first book. And so far, so good. Places I've been. Okay, I've traveled a little bit again. I started out the week, and if you go back and look at last week's channel update, I was in Bend, Oregon, traveling for work. While I was there, I already talked about some of the things on the last episode that I did while I was there, but before I left, there were a couple last places I want to give shout outs to, and that's Lone Pine Coffee, a delicious coffee place, just a local grind with great fresh coffee and really nice pastries. I had a good breakfast there. I also had lunch at On Tap, which is a very unique establishment. It's basically a place with all sorts of local beers that are delicious. Bend is a great craft brew area, so you can get your beer there. They don't serve any food, but they have food trucks lined up all along the walkways. So you get your beer from On Tap and pick and choose, heck, multiple trucks if depending on your taste. And then there's a bunch of picnic tables to sit outside and enjoy. This is not so good a place to enjoy in the winter. There is some inside seating, but it's much better when the weather was nice, like it was for me. So On Tap, cool place. I made it back home then. Did a few things around Vancouver and had a couple reasons to go across the river into Portland, Oregon. Nothing huge to talk about in Portland, but we did take some time down in the Vancouver waterfront over the weekend at the Maryhill Winery Tasting Room. It's a really nice location, beautiful view of the Columbia River right in front of you. And they've got a nice bistro restaurant there, and the wine is delicious. So, Maryhill, still enjoying it. But now I'm on the road again. I'm not home as I do this one. I'm sitting in another hotel room this time in St. Louis, Missouri, traveling for work. You know what St. Louis is like in June? Hot and sticky. I think I'll stay in the air conditioning today. Got out for a walk this morning before it got too hot, but now, it's going to be brutal today. Things I've watched. Yeah, I watched more of The Weakest Link. That is such a fun show. Also, more of Chopped. Judy and I continue to watch people cooking with the most incredibly crazy ingredients and coming up with something good. But on my flight to St. Louis, I had a chance to watch two movies back to back for the first time that was really good. I'd seen both these movies before, but I got tons out of them this time that I didn't catch the previous times. And that was Rise of the Planet of the Apes from 2011 and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes 2014. On my flight home, I'm going to watch War for the Planet of the Apes, which came out in 2017. And then there's a newest movie here in 2024 that I haven't seen yet. I'm prepping for it, obviously. But wow, the rewatches of these, I thought these movies were way better than the first time I had watched them. So that was fun. This week, I just want to give a shout out to my new boss, Mike, and the entire team that I work with at my job. These people, some of them watch my channel. They all know I have this incredibly nerdy hobby, and they think it's cool. And they encourage me and support me in the work that I do here for this channel. I have really cool people I work with. Love you guys. Most watched episode and short this week? Well, my episode reviewing, spoiler light, Toll the Hounds, Malazan Book 8, is the one that's doing the best. It's got over 70 views now, and people are still hitting that one. And Dad Joke 84, Random Style, shot over 10,000 views. It was my first short to go that high. It's still climbing. It's a lot of fun to help people groan each day. Groan in good fun. Best comment of the week came on another short that has gone over 10,000 views, and that one's been out a long time. Will Malazan be too much for you? To that one, this week, Cobalt Crusader responded, "Not gonna lie, for some people, it really is too much. A detail-oriented epic fantasy of massive length is not something that everyone will love, but I do. Erickson equals GOAT." I'm having trouble arguing with such a brilliant comment. Thanks, Cobalt Crusader. Okay, that's what I have for you this week. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be back again next week to tell you what I've been up to. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.